So, Doctor, if you look at what has been said about ENAM, about their results, you know, we recently we heard that the director of ENAM, nearly all of his family has been put into ENAM. They don't know when these family members went in for exams. We hear mostly French speaking and so on. What's your take about all this information?
Mr. Moderator, some of these institutions in our country, I think that has to be changed. Look at an institution that trains administrators and a magistracy. There must be fairness in this country. And that's one of the factors why the Anglophones are crying that they have been marginalized in our country. And we need to have that sense of belongingness. Let me start an institution as ENAM. People has been complaining for decades. As an educationist, I feel that institutions like this are the bedrock of a country that must have values. And that is why the Anglophones have been complaining over time and space. And we are pleading of our government that there should be regional balance. When you look at the result of ENAMS, you hear of names Atangana, this. And looking at the statistics, the Southwest and the Northwest had the lowest statistics of the number of persons that were selected in ENAM that passed the concours. And I asked myself that are people from the Southwest and Northwest, are they not very knowledgeable? They are very knowledgeable people. If there is meritocracy, meritocracy is a virtue. We must bring meritocracy in this country. What will be Cameroon is meritocracy. A region like the South region had about 70% of the exams. And if you look at the statistics of about 10 regions in Cameroon, that means one region had all the highest percentages. If they joined all the other regions, they didn't have the statistics of one particular region. Is that regional balance? Is that geopolitics? When you look at the geopolitics of Cameroon into the 4 geopolitical zones, there should be regional balance in concours. And one of the problems of the Anglophone is the issue of one of the issues here, their problems is the issue of marginalization. A concours of this magnitude, the government, I appreciate the government of creating an English section in magistracy, in ENAM. But we want a situation in our country whereby there is regional balance. We need strong institutions that are independent. A young man was appointed the director of ENAM, and I knew that things would be better. But look at what is happening. We need to be honest in this country. We need meritocracy in our country, because these are the same leaders that will administer you tomorrow, and they will bring about mediocrity. So we need to stop corruption in our country. All of us love Cameroon, and we want Cameroon to be better. All of us want Cameroon to be a paradise. Cameroon is the bedrock. In Central Africa, you will see that Cameroon is blessed with resources. And if we continue with mediocrity, you will see the kind of persons that will lead this country through corruption. And we have brains out there. We will continue to have international brain drain, where the people who marry the places will decide to travel abroad and become medical doctors abroad and engineers. And our country will suffer the multiplier effect. So what I'm saying is that the President of the Republic, His Excellency President Paul Biya, whom I respect, he should look again into the result of this present ENAM, because many people are grumbling, especially the Anglophones, looking at the result of ENAM. A particular region have enjoyed the largest of the results. We should look at meritocracy.
Of regional balance. But if you look at it, because there's always a complaint that the French speaking are dominating. But if you look at it, the English speaking part of the country, we have just 2 regions, while the French speaking part we have 8 regions. So if maybe 100 people are taking, and we have 80 who are French speaking and 20 who are English speaking. Is that not regional balance?
I want to ask you again, was the 20 even taken? That's the problem first. If the 20 is taken, the 20% is taken, there's no problem. Because the Anglophone represents the 20%.
Yeah.
But when you look at Cameroon, they don't look at things like that, because in Cameroon, Mr. Mojeto, two people came together and they look at them as equal.
Okay.
And if we are looking at regional balance, give them the 20%, then the people will not complain. I think that President Paul Biya is struggling for effective decentralization. An institution like this, ENAM, and we have another one up here for this NASLA, for decentralization. Yeah. And what I'm calling as a stakeholder is that all these institutions should be able to practice meritocracy and bring in and practice the regional balance, because we are looking at the way forward. We cannot be in a deep crisis and we are still looking at an institution like ENAM not bringing about regional balance. So we need regional balance in our institution. We need peace in our country. We need nation building in our country. We need good governance in our country. And this institution must practice all these elements to see that there is accountability, there is transparency, there is equity, there is justice, so that our country can live in peace and in harmony.
What will you say about this cankerworm of people always believe that when somebody is heading an institution like ENAM, maybe when the family members maybe are recruited, it's like a kind of corruption. Are they not Cameroonian? Don't they have the rights?
Mr. Mojeto, especially in good governance and nation building, we call that nepotism.
But don't they have the rights? Are they not Cameroonian? Don't they have the right?
They have the right in the sense that if they merit it, then it is fine. I prefer
people always complain.
I'm an educationist, right to the extent of having a PhD. I work hard for it. Yeah. And I believe that people should have what they deserve. And even if I was put as the director of ENAM and my younger brother is there, I will want my younger brother to work hard to have that position. So that the country, people can be knowledgeable, people can have that values to respect institutions like this, so that we'll avoid corruption and embezzlement to be our country forward. But in a nutshell, I'm advising all stakeholders that we need to build this country. And for us to build this country, there are positive aspects of nation building. And in building an institution like ENAM, we need honesty, we need loyalty, we need transparency. We need all these values that can help shape our country to make it strong, Mr. Mojeto, especially when we are talking of an area where His Excellency President Paul Biya is talking of effective decentralization. We need to be honest to be our country. But
there is a worry here. Why do people look up to some of these institutions, especially like ENAM, like that? There are other jobs, there are other professions, but people always put their eyes on this. What do you think should be the reason?
Very good, Mr. Mojeto. I want to look at this from this other perspective, from this other dimension, our educational system. Do you know that if our educational system was tailored, especially from primary school, secondary school to university, in a sense that children gain skills and hands-on skills, at the end they will gain employability. Our educational system has to be transformative in such a sense that children gain knowledge, they gain aptitude, where they are more efficient. Go to Ghana, there's no ENAM in Ghana. People go to the university, they gain administrative skills and they become administrators. Okay. Go to Nigeria, there's what we call the local government chairman. The local government chairman did not go to any local school. He was trained in a university because you engage in politics. We need to make our institutions in such a way that they are more transformative, where people gain skills, they gain abilities, they gain all this knowledge that can help them administer. Do you know that in the faculty of law and political science, they learn administration? I'm minor when I was doing undergraduate studies, I'm minor in political science. I did courses in administration. And it can help you be an administrator. You must not go to INAM to become an administrator. But I don't know why some people have gone to INAM to learn how to steal money. They must stop. They must gain values to shape our society, Mr. Moderator. I'm saying that we must shape our curriculum. We need our curriculum to be this kind of what we call in education the spiral curriculum, where people can gain a kind of skill building that will help them, especially to discover knowledge, especially to be more transformative, to be more reflective, to be more critical in their thinking, to be more creative in their thinking to solve societal problems. Our educational system is tailored to subject based, but I feel that our government of Cameroon should tailor our educational system to be to solving real life problems. And if our educational system is there to solve real life problems through skill building, where people gain skills and values, they will be able to be more transformative in solving societal problems than going to a particular institution to learn how to administer.
Is it high time maybe some of these institutions are wiped out? Because for centuries we always hear of corruption, favoritism, and so on in this institution. Why are they still maintained?
But we cannot totally wipe out the institutions. I've said here that if our institutions, Mr. Moderator, are able to build values, I ask you, why is it that a child has one paper and religious studies and the child is not allowed to go to the university? Those are the values you are lacking, Mr. Moderator. Our university education should go back at the primary school level. Go back to primary school teachers. Primary school education should have psychologists where they can counsel our children at the basic level. Counsel our children. We need career counselors to counsel our children right at the basic level for them to have values, so that these values will transcend at the secondary level and higher education level for people to have values. And I want to say that if our educational system is tailored in such a way that we adapt it in such a way that we have moral education from primary school, from nursery school, secondary school, nursery school, primary school, secondary school to university, where there is moral education or peace education, where children learn values, Mr. Moderator, it will become part and parcel of their lifestyle. They must not go to institutions like ENAM to become productive. We just need to reshape our educational system in such a way that people gain skills to solve real life problems. Our educational system must be tailored to skill building. It will be very important that people go to school and learn skill building of administration in the university. That will be very transformative. That our school system, Mr. Moderator, must inject moral values, whereby even at the level of advanced level, people should be, it should be inclusive, that moral education is part of our system. In the university, moral education must be part of, you must have passed in moral education before you graduate.
Okay, before I get to the next thing, let us just get say greetings to you in the studio. I appreciate the topic of the day, especially our guest speaker in the house. It is rather unfortunate that all the measures he mentioned are properly conjugated in the past tense. So the general public has enough reasons to believe that the COVID-19 does not exist in Cameroon. Maybe the person was following up.
Thank you very much, our viewer. I still want to reiterate that COVID-19 exists in Cameroon, whether we like it or not. We have to be more careful. I feel that as Cameroonians, we have been mentally resilient. And the truth is that COVID-19 exists in Cameroon. There are persons in Cameroon who have died of COVID-19. We just need to be more careful, especially our children are going to school. Our primary school children are going to school and they are not matured. We need to educate them. We need to support them, especially at this era, to support them, respect the measures, and to make sure that government provide all the measures of COVID-19 kits in our schools and make sure that in all primary schools, whether lay primary schools or government primary schools and secondary school and the universities, all these COVID-19 logistics should be available so that our children their health is very important, especially those primary school children. I love them. I've once been a primary school teacher. Thank you.
Okay. Then I think it should be the person who still came again. So he was talking also the general public has enough reasons to believe that COVID-19 does not exist in Cameroon. Okay. Is it because it is, if it exists and some Cameroonians did die of it, then viewing the lifestyle of most Cameroonians, the statistics are not believable, taking into consideration the fact that the means of transmission is air.
Mr. Moderator, thank you, our viewer. I want to also say that, looking at what our viewer is saying, we are living in two environments. Yeah. Let's look at the Western world and Africa. And I've earlier said that COVID-19 is common in the Western world. Look at their temperature. Look at their temperature. At times they have different temperatures there, and it is very cold. It is very cold, especially during periods of winter.
But the worry of that, I'm sorry that we are coming back to the first topic, but it's important. It's a worry of a viewer. The worry of that viewer is that, it is an airborne disease. And so if you look at the way people were interacting, especially in the markets and in the quarters, if really it was existing, then so many would have died. If you look at America when the blacks went on the streets, it means that nearly all of them, because very few of them had on their mask. So that is the worry of that viewer.
It's an airborne disease. Yes, we accept. Yeah. But we have said the temperatures are not the same. Yeah. Our climate, we are living in the tropics, and our climatic condition is not the same as their climatic condition. So many at times, it blows in the air. So our climatic conditions are not the same. We are living a natural life too, Mr. Moderator. Many at times too, the kind of food stuff we take, the concoctions we take, it also helps us. We are living in two different contexts. But the truth is that the Cameroon government have tried to an extent. Let's continue to respect the measures of COVID-19 for the safety of our children and ourselves.
Let's go back to the topic that's on screen. We are talking on ENAM, that so many people look at it as if ENAM is washed in the blood of corruption. So we are asking whether it's an assumption or a reality. Now, I want to come to this. If we look at it, it is believed that everybody who passes through ENAM is corrupt. So now, is it like they are being tailored in ENAM to be corrupt, or it is a natural human kind of behavior?
I want to say that we need strong institutions in this country. I've always said that Cameroon must move on in peace, and we need strong institutions. We need institutions that are stronger than personalities, and that's why we have CONAC. And CONAC even is not an independent institution that is stronger than the people. The issue of connection in this country must stop in such a way that people respect value, people have values. And I still go back. ENAM comes from ENAP in France. And Mr. Moderator, in the Anglo-Saxon culture, there was we don't have institutions like this. Especially when you look at the British Trust territory, where the Anglophone find themselves, and Nigeria, we don't have institutions like ENAM. And those who have gone to such institutions, they are administrators in government, and they find themselves in some positions, luxurious positions, in which they save the people. And it has been seen that most of these people are in the prison because they have embezzled billions. What I'm proposing to our government is that...
But Doc, before you propose, what maybe our viewers will want to get.
Yes.
Is it that these people are tailored in ENAM to be corrupt, or it's a
They are
human
not.
weakness?
They are not. The context, the environment.
Because it is believed that everybody who passes.
It's not everybody. You cannot say everybody.
It is believed. People.
Most
believe
you
like
can
that.
say most people.
Okay, yeah.
You can say most people, but I want
Yeah.
to say that there are still respectable Cameroonians who left from ENAM.
Okay.
The issue is just an issue of culture. And when I say culture, I mean values. There are people who have values in this country who are not corrupt.
Dignity to keep.
That's the word dignity. There are people who have dignity. And people who believe that because they come from a particular environment, they come from a particular tribe, whatever they do, nothing will happen to them. That's what happened in ENAM. Because you feel that you have been put by your brother, you have been put by your tribesman, whatever you do, you have no accountability. You can do whatever you do. We have to change our mindset. And if we begin from today to change our mindset to have human dignity and integrity and values, I think that such institutions will be good. And if such institutions are independent, are stronger than the people who go there, and the people who go there start having values, then it will be better. We are talking of decentralization now, Mr. Moderator. And if we happen to have effective decentralization, where people elect their leaders based on the competency and the integrity of the people, such institution will not have such power. If we have that effective if only we have that effective
Somebody made a
decentralization.
statement that bringing out a very young magistrate of 20-something years to come and maybe judge complicated cases. They can take older people who have been in the bar or who have been in the system for a very long time, who know the law, then so that they should upgrade them to the level of magistrate.
But you are kicking against the fact that you know that we need young people in government too. The youth must engage in leadership. But the youth must have values.
Okay.
And I want to say that the bar in other countries, people who have left the bar council and they have experiences, they are magistrates. And they even know the law more than those who have gone to ENAM.
That's what some
There are people who have
like
gone,
saying.
there are people, they are experienced senior counsels, senior lawyers in this country who have mastery of the law.
That's
who
why
can even
some
talk,
of them challenge.
they challenge magistrates in the law court.
Yeah.
They understand the lawsuits of this country. They understand the issues of litigation more than magistrates. But the issue is that some magistrates find themselves in the comfort zone,
Okay.
who feel that they are highly protective. But the truth is that it's a systemic issue that needs to be addressed. And when we address these issues, we'll find ourselves, Mr. Moderator, start engaging into good governance and justice. Because we need a system that is just. And for us to be just, we must have values and integrity. And I see, as an educationist, I still feel that our educational system needs to be better up to have, for people to have more of values than going to an institution that it will favor nepotism, it will favor tribalism, all the ills of bad governance.
Okay. Could it be that, if the English-speaking Cameroonians are complaining of ENAM, could it be that NASLA, the National School for Local Administration, has come up to like certify the Anglophone? Maybe when the exams will be launched, they too, most of them will be taken there.
I want to appreciate His Excellency President Paul Biya for creating NASLA, the National School for Training Local Administrator. It's good. And it's in the southwest region of Cameroon. Let's appreciate the president for that gesture, because we are talking of effective decentralization and power will be given to the people. And what I'm praying is that the power should only be given, and it should be given effectively. We have seen that the House of Chiefs will be created. Very soon the president of the regional council will be elected in December, and so on. But we want to see persons of integrity.
But let me just put it the way somebody said, that ENAM is for the Francophone, NASLA is for the Anglophones.
If we put it like that, it will be a system of divide and rule. It will not be good.
Okay.
The only way is that let's look at it from a deep perspective of stronger institutions and persons of morality and values that can shape Cameroon and better Cameroon. Where you say NASLA will be for the Anglophones, then we are bringing tribalism, we are bringing nepotism, and we are putting elements of bad governance. But when we say NASLA is in the Northwest and it's in the Anglophone areas, NASLA will be recruiting persons according to meritocracy, regional balance, people who are competent to save and deliver. Then it's fine. When we say ENAM is in Yaoundé, ENAM will be respecting regional balance, ENAM will be recruiting Cameroonians who are competent, who have the skills to deliver. Then it's fine.
But by the time...
in a nutshell, I stand for values, Mr. Mojeto.
Not too long from now, NASLA will launch their exam. They will be recruiting. Do you see this imaginary corruption of ENAM transferred to NASLA?
If we are not careful, I'm talking, the administrator of NASLA are there. They have appointed them. We are talking of decentralization and effective decentralization. And we want people who have values. My watchword for today is values. If they want Cameroon to be better, President Paul Biya has appointed them. And President Paul Biya is saying that the governance of this system, this country will be local governance. Let the people implement what the text is saying. Let the people respect the best. Let the people respect meritocracy. Let the people respect regional balance. Because what we are saying is that many a times, Mr. Mojeto, you will see people who have gone to school, they have 25 points. And they cannot pass such a concours. I start wondering the kind of educational system we have. I see somebody with 2 points entering into ENAM and NASLA. I've asked, how did you enter? Was it through the right way or through the back door? We need persons who are qualified to shape the dynamics of this country. There might be persons with 2 points that might come in with regional balance, but these people should have values and morality to shape our country. Because egoism will not shape Cameroon. What will shape Cameroon is altruism. Let's put square pegs in square holes.
You just talked of the youth should be the leaders of today. Yeah. But what's really happening when President Paul Biya has appointed youths in most of these offices, but we still have those same complaints coming up?
The youths have been appointed, but many a times the youths have not been given the opportunity for the stewardship. Because you might be appointed, but the stewardship, the remote control is being controlled from behind while you are acting.
Are you saying they don't have the self or the integrity? Because somebody cannot...
I've just said something here, Mr. Mojeto, that you can be appointed as the director of ENAM or NASLA, but the remote control is being played behind you for you not to do your work. So we want a situation where you are appointed, you are allowed to do your work, respecting the text, then it will be more efficient.
Dr. Busi NS, you are a very young PhD holder. If tomorrow you are the Vice Chancellor and they want to tell out you to be corrupt, will you accept that?
Mr. Moderator, to be candid, that's a tentative question. I'm not looking for positions, especially if I'm appointed a minister, Mr. Moderator, I will do my best, but I'm not looking for position for now. I'm self-developing myself to shape my country. But what I would say is that people in position of administration should do the right thing for the betterment of our country. That's
okay. Maybe to conclude on this topic, what will be a last word before we go to the next topic? What will be a last word to especially the young leaders who are being put in place by the President of the Republic or by the Cameroon government, so that they make sure that they give the values they make us to be proud?
My advice, first of all, Mr. Mojeto, before going to that, is that please, the Republic of Cameroon, the President of the Republic of Cameroon, we need to shape our educational system. That's the first thing. The President of the Republic is the guarantor of peace. And if we want peace to reign, we are talking of a two-system, a bicultural system, where there's the Anglophone and there's the Francophones. And we need all to enjoy the integrity of this country, the largesse of this country, the national cake of this country, and to enjoy what we call the geopolitics of this country, so that all of us can wine and dine together. But when people have been put into position of responsibility, they should accept meritocracy. Meritocracy can build this country. And if you're a youth, You have been put in a position of responsibility. Do your job very well so that we can have a better country.
Okay, somebody has just sent a message, but it seems the message has not come. Or I'll just read the part that has. He said, and has trained the level of corruption in Cameroon keeps increasing. The level of justice and corruption is a clear proof that ENAM is the hub of corruption in Cameroon.
Mr. Moderator, I want to say that I want to still apply I want to reply from what our viewer is saying. I want to say that strong institutions are very good, but President Paul Biya have created those institutions. He has to monitor the institutions. But people have been appointed and put in such institutions to save the people. They should know that they are saving Cameroonians. They are not saving their tribal men. President Paul Biya wants an emerging Cameroon. And if President Paul Biya has appointed you, you should be able to do what the text says, that there should be meritocracy, there should be regional balance. Because looking at this ENAM result, the government needs to do something about it. 70% cannot come from one region when we have 10 regions. The government should do something about it so that subsequently it shouldn't happen. NASLA, the local governance, has been created here. And we need fairness and justice so that persons who will be trained in NASLA, there should be regional balance so that these people will be sent to their various regions to implement the local governance administration. So that we should have people who are efficient to bring about effective decentralization, like what President Paul Biya is saying.
Dr. Busi, is it the curriculum in ENAM or the individuals who are corrupt?
It is not the curriculum in ENAM.
Because Cameroon some people feel like nice it is tailored, the curriculum is tailored, it is tailored in a way that those who come out of it...
It's not tailored to steal money, or it's not tailored to bring corruption.
Okay.
It's tailored for... I started by saying that our education at the base, at the nursery school, if your own son, you have children, if you are there your son, you train there your son that go to school. When you see somebody's thing, don't take it, it's not your own. When you see somebody's money on the way, don't pick it. When you have something, they say share equally. Share it equally. Don't take your own to be bigger. You train that your child. The primary school system train that child that don't cheat.
Yeah.
The secondary school train that child that don't cheat. Cheating is a bad thing. The university train the child that cheating is a bad thing. The ENAM or other schools train the child that don't cheat. And the child doesn't cheat, Mr. Moderator. The child learns to have values. The child will not cheat. What I'm saying is that we need to reshape our educational system that will train persons to have skills and values that are continuous, that are sequential.
How can it be
training
shaped?
Personalities.
How can the educational system be shaped?
The educational system can be shaped from the curriculum.
Maybe a few suggestions,
from the subject. I've said that our educational system should be tailored to solving real life problems.
Okay.
Look at China. Look at Kuwait. Look at all those Asian countries in the Asian continent. We got our independence before them, most of them.
Yeah.
But today they are highly developed, even more than China is almost developed more than some Western countries. Why? Because their educational system was tailored to what we call transformative learning, experiential learning, hands-on learning, skills learning. That's why they can manufacture a car. That's why we cannot manufacture a car, because we are subject-based. What I'm pleading to the Cameroon government is that we should bring more of pragmatism, of practical learning, more than the subject-based of passing 10 papers, 20 papers, where you cannot even connect a bulb holder in your own house, and you have passed 25. You have 25 points where you cannot even put a lamp holder. No, we should be able to bring these resources in our educational system through hands. We should be able to have laboratories that, as a clinical psychologist, I'm able to test you, to see how your stress level is, to see how you are faring, to see how I can refer you to a physician to give you drugs as a psychology. When I see that you are stressed up psychologically, we need laboratories, we need resources, we need, especially if you are doing engineering in the university, we should be able to see that there are laboratories in the university where children have even spare parts where they can assemble cars, they can be learning with their hands and solving problems at the same time. And it will not make our children to be running to ENS, to be running to ENAM, to be running to QS, because they know that after that they'll gain employability. That's all I can say. That's my contribution for nation building in Cameroon.
Dear viewers, we shall have a break. When we come back, we shall take the last topic with the one-on-one with Dr. Busi Ernest. We shall be discussing on SDF. You know, Honorable Nincho is trying to lobby the other SDF members that they should go back to the 1990s and let SDF become what it was in the 1990s. Because some people believe that SDF is being tailored by maybe CPD or this ruling government. And so he's suggesting that SDF should go to its terminal in the 1990s. That's what we'll be discussing when we come back.